I never would have thought in a million years these little catch-all trays would sell so good. And today I'm going to show you exactly how I make them. It all started one day when I was just playing around with my CNC router. Turns out he's not too good at football. So we ended up making these wooden trays. I then decided to post one of these on Facebook Marketplace, and to my surprise, people were actually interested. And before you know it, orders started rolling in. The tray I'll be demonstrating today is this cool little duck hunting tray. Not only does it have the American flag, which is cool all by itself, we'll be adding this 3D clip art to it as well to make it even cooler. This particular lady custom ordered this tray for her husband, who also trains duck hunting dogs. And that's what makes these sell so good. Anytime somebody can add a little custom twist of their own to something that's already cool, that's a seller. First things first, I want to get some of this beautiful rough cut poplar cut down to size. Then I'll run it through my planer a few times. We really need to get this poplar nice and smooth for old Chip Norris over here. And what we're shooting for today is roughly 7/8 to 1 inch thick on these bad boys. So now that we've got this wood plane down, what I'm going to do is secure it here to our wasteboard, and then we're going to go over the tray design that we're going to be building today. So let's brush over our bits real quick that we're going to use to make this really cool duck hunting tray. So the first bit I always start off with is my bowl bit, and what that bit will do is cut out a lot of the material kind of out of the way, and it also leaves this really nice rounded edge around the inside of the tray, which I think leaves a great look, and it looks clean and compared to like a 90-degree angle that you would have with like just a regular end mill. So we're about to get started with our first cut, the 5/8 inch bowl cut bit. Now I don't have any dust collection set up on this machine, so you'll kind of see my vacuum cleaner every now and then, but it'll also give you guys a really good view of what it's doing and how it's cutting this tool path, so enjoy. Cut numero 1 is done. Now we can move on to tool path number 2. So our next cut is going to be this 1/8 inch down cut bit. This is another one of those go-to bits that I use constantly. So on any of the film, like the Oramask projects that I use that requires an end mill instead of like a V-bit, I always use this bit. So here's the last 1/8 inch down cut bit that I bought from Amazon. This is usually where I source all my bits from. So every bit that you see today has come from Amazon. Also, what I was mentioning earlier, anytime you're cutting film or something that you don't want any of the grain to start to kind of raise up, you want to use this down cut bit. So now we have our stripes and we have our border around the flag. Now let's go ahead and talk about our next tool path, which is going to be the 90-degree V-bit that will cut our stars. Now we're moving on to our third cut. This is going to be the 90-degree V-bit, which is one of my favorites. I like using that on these stars because it leaves a really nice groove, V-groove cutout for all these stars. As you can see here in the tool path, it just goes down and it cleans these up and it looks super nice. Okay, so after about 2 minutes and 33 seconds, the stars have been engraved into this piece. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at it. So I'm gonna go ahead and close that job file. I'm gonna run this guy to the back corner, get him out of my way. Alrighty, so far all we've done is the 5/8 bowl bit, our 1/8 inch down cut to cut our stripes here and this border around the flag, and then our 90-degree V bit to do all the star V carving. So just like that, we're already halfway done. All we have left now is to go ahead and rough cut the 3D relief, which is probably, well, it's not my favorite part, but it's the part before my favorite part. When we get to do the 3D carving, that's when it gets really neat. So let's go ahead and get that roughing bit in, and we'll go ahead and get it going. But first, let me kind of show you the tool path and the bit that I use. Guys, I just had a great idea. If you are enjoying this video and you like this tray, I'm going to do a giveaway in this video. All you have to do to get a free entry now, it's free, is subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, like this video, and if you want, hit that notification bell to get you some extra bonus points. So whoever wins, 2 weeks from now, I'm going to do a live or a short video, and I'll post who wins or won this tray. All the shipping expenses will be on me. It's absolutely free to you. All you have to do is subscribe, like, leave the comment giveaway below, and if you want to hit that notification bell too, that'd be great. Now let's get back to the video. Our fourth tool path is going to be a roughing 1/4 inch bit. So I like to use this rougher bit whenever I'm just removing a bunch of material, especially for my 3D carves. So as you can see, when I go ahead and run this 3D roughing toolpath simulation, you can see all it really does is just mows through all that wood. It just gets it out of our way. That way we can make a good clean slate for our nice detailed 3D carving bit to come in next. All right, so the roughing 3D cut path is done, and I'm not even joking when I tell you that only took 1 minute and 58 seconds. This thing will scream through some 3D cutting, and I'm telling you what, compared to my old machine, it's so much faster. So I've got the rough cut bit. I was only going 120 inches a minute. This thing, you could run it 300 inches a minute if you wanted. But I mean, if you're under 2 minutes and you can rough cut something that quick, I just leave it. There's no sense in pushing it too far. So now all we really have left is to add our 3D bit. It's a 1/16 inch ball nose bit, and I'm going to talk to you about that here in a second with the tool paths. Finally, we've made it to our fifth cut, which is our 3D cut. I like to use a 1/16 inch ball nose bit. It's a tapered ball nose bit with a 1/16 inch end on it. So this leaves a really fine, detailed cut whenever you're doing 3D images. I have used an 1/8 inch ball nose, and those work really well as also. So one thing I do is if my carving is really big, I might upsize that to an 1/8 inch ball nose because you will speed up the process of the cut time dramatically. So here's our 3D clip art cutting after it's been finished. So all I've done to this, and I promise you, all I have done is I use this little brass brush to knock out all these fuzzies that was on top of there. You can still kind of see some. I don't know if it picks up on the camera, but once we use some sandpaper and we get into each one of them little grooves, this thing is gonna look freaking mint, man. So our last tool path of the night is gonna be our little compression bit right here. So I'm gonna load that up. I'm gonna cut out around the tray and that'll break it loose. So let me show you guys why I really like that composite nailer. I'm just gonna literally grab my wrench here and just kind of hit the side of this piece of poplar and it'll break these little plastic composite nails right off. Just give it a good little hit, just like that. I mean, literally it's off the table. Now it does start to accumulate here, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll get my sander and I'll sand really good on the top of my wasteboard. Also, this thing is really due for like another surfacing. Well, we got our super cool little tray cut out here. We got our dog, we got our duck. If you look real close here, you can see the detail. You can see the grass in the background. You can see the duck, the dog. And then you got the awesome American flag in there too, which how does that not get any better, right? So what I'm gonna do, because I'm tired, is I'm gonna go inside for the night, and tomorrow morning we're gonna pick up on the router table over here and we're going to router these edges, we're going to stain this thing, and then we'll be able to see what the finished product looks like. So I'll see you guys in the morning. After a good night's rest, it's time to start routing the edges of this catch-all tray. On these catch-all trays, I really prefer to use a chamfer bit opposed to the normal 1/8 inch roundover bit I use on most other projects. I always do the top and the bottom edges of all these trays, and I think it leaves it with a really nice clean look. When it comes to sanding these, I always start around 180 grit or something close to 180 grit. Doesn't really have to be exact. I just go over the entire piece, the edges, the bottom, the top, everywhere I can get to, and then I'll swap over to a 220 grit and I'll go over the entire thing again, which leaves a really nice smooth finish ready for our stain to be applied. One of the things I have to do on some of these trays, especially the American flag one, inside the stripes here, it's going to be real hard for you guys to see, but there's some little fuzzies in there, kind of like we had on the duck, or the dog and the duck image here. So what I do is I went to Harbor Freight and I bought me like several of these. They're like $1 each or something. So all I really do with them is I'll get inside these stripes and I'll just kind of scrub like you're brushing your teeth or something, and just kind of get on those fuzzies. And if you just do that enough, it also works really good if you've got some like this star here. You can get down in there just by scrubbing with this little brass brush, and it'll get down in there and it'll knock all them little fuzzies out. Let's see if we can get this one on camera. So this top stripe here is real fuzzy. So if I just run this thing back and forth a few times, it'll knock the majority of that out. And all I'm doing is just scrubbing back and forth, just like that. And that took care of a lot of them. Another thing I'll do too, as far as like the finer sanding kind of portion of this project, is I'll get some sandpaper and I'll fold it and I'll stick it down in there and I'll just kind of scrub it back and forth, and it'll clean up those edges really nice. So yeah, I just get these sheets like this. This is 180 grit, and I'll tear it into like a smaller piece. I kind of fold it like this, And then it allows me to get down inside these stripes really good and up against the edges, right? And then I just kind of scrub. So that's typically, you know, it's just kind of the more slower process of the whole thing, but it's really not that bad. Once you get your sandpaper down in there and you just kind of run over every bit of that a little bit, you know, it pretty much comes right off. We are ready for some stain, finally. I really like how this golden oak stain looks on poplar, but I'm actually out. So what we're gonna have to do today is use my second runner up, which is this Provincial 211 by Minwax. So this stain looks really good too. It's a little bit darker than the golden oak, so this is gonna turn out a little different than I would typically do, but I don't have any golden oak. I've looked all over my shop. I can't find it anywhere. Another thing about this poplar, I don't ever use pre-stain on poplar. So I've actually experimented with that before in the past, and it just didn't leave a good enough result for my likings. So I've done some with pre-stain and I've done some without pre-stain. And to be honest with you, the ones without looked 10 times better. So I don't ever mess with pre-stain on this stuff on poplar anymore. All right, guys, just like that, we've got another project in the book. So this sign, or I'm sorry, not sign, this tray could sell from $35 to even $40, depending on the custom design that you're doing for your customer. I've sold them for both. You guys don't forget about the giveaway now. I was dead serious about that. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave the comment giveaway below, and then if you want to hit the notification bell, that'd be great too. So all the shipping, as long as you're in the United States, will be on me. So it's completely free to you. 2 weeks from the day this video is launched, we will be doing a live or a short, and I will announce the winner, and then I'll go ahead and reach out to that person and get their address information and all that, and get this sign on the way. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed this video, you might ought to check this one out, where I made my little dogs a watering hole out of some reclaimed cedar wood that came from an old building. So instead of throwing all this cedar wood out, I decided to make a cool little water tray for my dogs, and then I documented the whole process, and then you guys can see if the dogs even cared that I done it. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope every one of you have a great day. So all right, bye-bye.